whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. I'm attorney Gavin Richard. I grew up here in New Orleans, so I know how important family, friends, and community are to us. And helping others has been a lifelong passion of mine. If you've been injured in an accident, you may be out of work and faced with large medical bills. You'll need someone to fight the insurance companies so that you can get on with your life. Give me a call at 504-799-2288, and I'll be with you all the way. The law offices of Gavin M. Richard, going the distance so that justice may be served. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. The place to be is right here with me. It is Random Topic Tuesdays on channel gboot2786 on Gavin Richard, my backup channel here on YouTube, as well as my Facebook page, and on Twitter at Periscope at GavinRich2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. We have a special guest for us. He usually comes on Thursday nights, but we have him here tonight on Tuesday, and that is brother Shawn James, the author of The Man Crisis and In Time for Halloween, Eternal Night. What's going on, Shawn?
I'm good. How are you, Gavin?
All right, thank you for joining me tonight. We have a few things to get into, so we'll get into it very shortly. So tonight's topics are Howard University students protest. We also have Obama says it was hard to remedy things. Also, we'll be talking about get your booties to the poll too, as well as some other topics that we'll be discussing tonight. Again, Shawn, why don't you do your plugins right quick for your books?
All right. Well, for the fall SJS Direct 2021 catalog, I have two titles. The first is Stop Simping in Cyberspace, which debuted this Monday on Kindle, and you can get your copy on Kindle right now, and you'll be able to get it on Google Play by the end of this week. And you can also pick up a paperback edition of Stop Simping in Cyberspace. And right now, I'm trying to get the book to 20 sales for the month and the debut. And I only need about 4 more sales to reach that benchmark. So I'm asking everybody to come out and pick up a copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace to get that book to 20 sales for a month, and the best launch of a book since Eternal Night. Now, the second book that I have coming out is E-Steam Cancel Vacation, and this book is coming out in November, and you can pick up your copy in paperback right now and pre-order a copy on Kindle for release in November. So I'm asking everybody to pick up a copy of Cancel Vacation. I really want to get the sales up on this book, and it's a fantastic story making a commentary on cancel culture. So you can get Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and Kindle right now, and you can get Cancel Vacation in paperback right now and pre-order the Kindle and have it available by the end of November.
All right, we'll go ahead and do that. You guys support our brother and buy his book, Stop Simping in the Workplace and Cyberspace. In cyberspace, excuse me. He had Stop Simping in the Workplace, and now he's got Stop Simping in Cyberspace, which is I'm sure a must read. And he's also working on The Woman Crisis, which is a follow-up to his Man Crisis book. So we're going to go ahead. Of course, we always like to pay some dues, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to, as I stated earlier, you can hit me up at the email down at the bottom, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. If you like to advertise, we love promoting businesses, especially black-owned businesses. We also have my website for my Creole seasoning blend, nonniescreoleblends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nonnies goes great with every dish. Check out, and I have not seen anyone stream Video Soul, but please go and check out my latest single, Video Soul, which is available on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. And also, ladies and gentlemen, of course, before we get on down, we got to get on up. So, with that being said, we'll go ahead and start the show with my theme song, Got to Get On Up.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Baby, yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.
I'm good, Gavin. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm muted. I see that again. Feel the groove. Get on the floor. Got to get on up. Yeah, y'all keep saying no sound. I see the mute button. It's off. You can hear me, Sean, now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Feel the groove. Get on the floor. Yeah. So anyway, I was saying Thursday I wouldn't be here because I will be out doing some performing at Lex Place over out in Baton Rouge. So if you all are out in Baton Rouge, you all should. If we have people that are here from Baton Rouge, you should come on out to Lex Place as we're doing some comedy show as well as music. It's a mix of everything. So talent in the local area. Let me just show you the flyer right quick so you can see. I thought I had the. Where the hell is my flyer? Oh, all right. I'll show it later on. Thought it was right where I was supposed to have it for what they sent it to me. Shit. All right. At any rate, Sean is here with us tonight. Oh, there we go. I got it right here. Sorry. So let me show y'all the flyer for the show. Blah blah. So hosted by comedian Jay Funny and Coco the Entertainer or Coca, whatever. I don't know who that is. But y'all check that out if you're out there Sunday on Thursday night in Baton Rouge. That's going to be a great show, must see. And also, I should be this Thursday have my trailer up and ready for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby, the destruction of due process in America. Uh, that is a must read. I was trying to have it available for you all. I was pushing for a Halloween date, but I'm actually just going through the legal process of having the book reviewed. And so far, let me just show you all the Facebook page. If you have not, you need to go there and hit that like button for this Facebook page. This is something you don't want to miss. Sean has actually taken a look at the book himself and finished reading it because he was helping me. Thank you, Sean, too, for your work in editing the book.
You're welcome.
But that is a must read. That is a must read for anybody. But that is our Facebook page right there. You can check out the at tag at Commonwealth Cos book. And Sean, you've read it. You've enjoyed it.
Yes, it's very well done, very well crafted.
Okay. So yeah, very well done, very well crafted indeed. And we got people from channel G Boot 786 on Facebook and Gavin Richard. Sorry. Yeah. So please, if you're on Facebook, check that out. So Sean, I guess we can get right into what's going on today, brother. Is our first topic, but is Howard University students protest. Now, I don't know if many of you've seen this, but this was an article that was posted on the Today Show, according to this. But this is something that's been going on for the past couple of days. Some students over at Howard have been protesting the living conditions on the campus, including issues of mice, mold, mildew, and other poor housing conditions. To have housing on Howard's campus is a privilege. To have housing without rats, mice, mold, and mildew on campus is unheard of, one student said. So the Yedida Kefel, I'm sorry, I'm misspelling these names, damn it. I don't even know how they pronounce it. Yedida Kefel, that's the best I can think of, Sean, was excited to move into a new home at Howard University in Washington, D.C. until she was hospitalized. I was there for a day, but I was sick for a few weeks, Kefal, first-year student, told Today. She learned that her sickness was caused by exposure to mold once she returned to her dorm after testing negative for COVID-19. Mold, mice, flooding, and other subpar living conditions riddle the residential buildings on campus, students say, and it's an issue that they've been protesting for decades. Roughly 150 undergrad students started occupying Blackburn University Center on October 12th in protest of their living conditions. Students say Howard has turned off the water, air conditioning, and Wi-Fi in the building. I'm transferring as soon as I can, Chappelle said. I came here so I wouldn't have to protest. I came here so I didn't have to fight for my education, fight for my basic life, literally basic necessities. For Howard to make me fight even more than when I had to back in Seattle, there's no reason for me to be here. Channing Hill, a junior who's part of the Live Movement campus organization that's co-organized the sit-in at the Blackburn Center, said among another housing issue is limited availability for upperclassmen who Howard often tells to make their own housing arrangements. They have housing on, as I stated this earlier, but let's go to this video here from the Blackburn Center that was posted on October 19th, favor of Nightmare on Howard Place, or Forever Amber.
I refuse to talk to you until you are talking about meeting our demands. The Blackburn Takeover family created our demands as a whole. Therefore, we will only discuss our demands as a unit. In an effort of transparency, we will refuse closed meetings. I repeat, we will refuse closed meetings.
Sean, I'm just looking at this. Damn, these are the dormitories of Howard University, apparently. And it says here Howard Housing has had a long-standing issue. In 2018, students occupied the administration building for 9 days before reaching an agreement with the administration, who promised to meet their demands, according to NPR. And in 1989, up to 3,000 students occupied the administration building for almost a week over housing conditions and other issues, according to the Washington Post. Chandler Robinson, a first-year student who's part of the Live Movement, said protests in 2016 and 2017, in addition to 2018 and this year, have resurfaced the same issues. The students claim they have not seen enough action to fix the problems. Now, damn, this is flooding due to faulty pipes. And let's hear what the other side have to say. Howard President Wayne Frederick released a statement Tuesday morning saying the school has already shared a detailed housing plan and calling for the occupation to end. There may be areas where we agree to disagree. That's the nature of a vibrant community. However, Howard University's proud tradition of student affair protests has never been and can never be invoked as a justification for tactics that harm our students. The current occupation of Armour J. Blackburn Center is a departure from past norms. There is a distinct difference between peaceful protests and freedom of expression and the occupation of a university building that impedes operation and access to essential services and creates health and safety risks. Now, Sean, there's a reason why I wanted to talk about this topic. And it goes back to something that happened this past summer. And I think, Sean, you are aware what happened this past summer. Are you not? You know what I'm going with? Now, hold on. We know, let me stop the screen. Now, we know who this beautiful woman is. Do we not?
Yes, we do.
This black queen is none other than Felicia Rashad, star of The Cosby Show, co-star of The Cosby Show, who played Bill Cosby's wife, Claire Huxtable. And her sister, of course, is Debbie Allen. And on top of being an actress, Miss Rashad is the dean of Howard University's College of Fine Arts. And we know that after Bill Cosby was released from his wrongful conviction, Howard University demanded Felicia Rashad to step down. And let me just say this, because it's not just at Howard University that you see these living conditions. I saw it for whatever reason. I even saw it at Southern when I was living in Moore Hall up in 2006. I saw these conditions as well. The paint off the building peeling off, the plumbing not working effectively, having to walk through the rain, having to spend some days and take showers at my folks' apartment complex. I had that, and I don't know why it's always at HBCUs we see the finer things. No, I do know why. Is that there has always been, and even this article from today talks about the issues with financing. But I laugh. Of course, I feel sorry for the students that are there. But this administration, for me, this is their comeuppance. Because this administration forced Miss Rashad to take training, sensitivity training, for expressing her freedom of speech. And this is the same Howard University that graduated the likes, that had a loss program that graduated the likes of your Thurgood Marshall, and was also started, its School of Law was started by the man who taught Thurgood Marshall, Charles Hamilton Houston. Lack of resources. It's not just it's a lack of resources, a lack of financing. Most of these HBCUs have had their funding cut. Your president, now Joe Biden, even announced that they were planning to cut funding from HBCUs from 45 million to down 45 billion, down to 5 billion, and they're going to be competitive grants with this. Shawn, what are your thoughts about what's going on at Howard?
Well, I have to ask one critical question about this whole Howard University housing conditions issue. Where is this money being spent? I mean, these schools get billions of dollars in grant money, student loans, money from trustees, monies from endowments. Where is this money going? That's the critical question everybody needs to ask, because if, again, these schools are getting billions of dollars, why aren't they spending the money on facilities? I mean, you would think that working on maintaining your infrastructure would be a part of your general operating budget. And you would think that this money would be listed in a spreadsheet or an accounting that would let us know that you're going to spend some money on basic infrastructure like student housing. I mean, this is one of the things that you would have in your primary budget to go out here and take care of business. So I'm looking at this school's administration with a side eye, because it's an embarrassment on them for them to let their infrastructure fall apart like this after receiving so much grant money, so much student loans, so much endowments, and federal funding. I mean, these buildings should be in tip-top shape. The maintenance crews should be on point. There should not be any mold. There should not be anything at all. In fact, if those buildings are in that bad of a condition, there should have been a plan to demolish those buildings and construct new ones, and that money should have been allocated for that years ago. So clearly, somebody at this Howard University and some of these colleges is not spending the money they have been given by the government and many of the trustees and many of the donors in a responsible fashion, because no college shall allow their living quarters for their students to fall into such disrepair. That's just embarrassing to see a HBCU which got millions of dollars under the Trump administration and many millions more from many other Black entertainers and Black businessmen, to let the living conditions in these housing deteriorate like this. I mean, this is an embarrassment in and of itself. Right. And I say to the kids who are out here protesting Howard University, don't protest Howard University by going to their administration building and making a protest. Protest by voting with your wallet and taking your grant money to another school. That's the kind of impact that drops a mighty blow on schools like this, because if they're not spending the money on providing you with services, then that's not a quality school that puts the student first and makes it a priority to give them a quality education. Because how can a student go out here and perform up to standard if they're not, who's out of state, if they don't have quality living
Right.
conditions? I mean, how can they perform up to a high standard of excellence if they have to worry about mold in the vents, air conditioning that doesn't work, no hot water, no
Not to
heat,
mention the rodents, mice,
not to mention the
rats.
vermin? It's reprehensible that this administration has allowed people to mismanage these funds, because those funds come for the students and they need to be spent on providing the students the best quality service. And again, this is an embarrassment for an HBCU to mismanage its money like this, because a lot of these schools, what I'm seeing is that they're taking financial aid for granted, and they think that they're going to have financial aid forever. And that's not the case when it comes down to these type of horrible and deplorable conditions. The student at the end of the day has the ultimate power, and that power is to take their financial aid and go to another school. And that is what these students need to do to send a message to the mismanagers and the irresponsible stewards of Howard University.
Most definitely. And I will just add to this, Sean, because I wanted you to talk about the aspect of Howard attacking Felicia Rashad. It's like they're
I'll get into that in a minute, but it's just cowardly. It's not something that,
alumni, yeah.
you don't, that's a way of disrespecting your alumni. But this is what black bootlicks do. They turn on other blacks in order to try to gain favor with whites. And that's just not something any person of character goes out here and does. I mean, Felicia Rashad, as an American citizen, has her right to defend a man that she knew, Bill Cosby, and she should not be attacked for expressing her opinion. I mean, part of being in a college is learning how to deal with different opinions and different thoughts. And that really shows how your HBCUs are bootlick used, and it's all about trying to gain white acceptance and white favor, and not about black people learning to learn about diversity of thought.
Right. Well, the reason I'm saying this too, Sean, I don't know about you, but I went to HBCU in Southern, and I saw these conditions myself. I also saw people who gained favor from nepotism, people gained favor from nepotism. There was corruption there. We're spending, students not getting their financial aid in a hurry, like they should have, having to deal with, living conditions that were horrible. Not to mention even the gyms, for instance, on some of these HBCUs, like up in Grambling. Remember what happened a few years ago when the Grambling football team actually boycotted the football game because they were upset over the conditions of their school, in particular, their facilities where they were at. Molded gymnasium, poor weight equipment, no way to train, traveling long hours by bus. So you're talking about going from Grambling, Louisiana, all the way to Indianapolis. So some of them they didn't even afford flights for these students, having to pay for their own food. Those were some of the things that they went through, and they said, no, we're not going to do it. And they refused to show up for the game. And there were people that were upset with the students for doing that. But, this is about voting with your dollar. That's the only way people will understand. It wasn't until after that they did make corrections that needed to that facility. They fired Doug Williams because Doug Williams was actually using his own money to try and fix up that facility, and they didn't like it and fired him. So a lot of these HBCUs are having issues with embezzlement. They have issues with mismanagement of funds. I won't go into detail, but even, that was reported even at my schools.
Yeah.
Up here in Baton Rouge. My law school, I'm not going to say who, but possibly issues with monies. Yeah. People, another issue is that we have people that are in those administrations, Sean, that don't care about the students. They only care about getting their pockets fatter.
Yeah.
And, even when you go to these schools to talk to people, if you were lost, if you needed something, they would have such an attitude just talking to you.
Yeah.
I had to go through that. And, sadly, a lot of people get mad when you talk about not supporting HBCUs and all this, but you vote. The bottom line is you vote for your dollar. You love supporting Black-owned businesses. I love supporting them, but they got to be quality. Not just about having a Black HBC, a Black president. We needed a Black president to actually do stuff for Black people.
And that's the problem. A lot of these people at the HBCUs, they take Black people for granted, and that's why the quality of the conditions at the schools are so bad. And they think that because they are a Black school, they are entitled to Black students, and they don't understand the concept of competition. A lot of these schools really need to be introduced to the concept of competition, because you are not entitled to anybody's grant money, anybody's student loan money, or anybody's trust or endowment. I mean, when you are given these things, these are gifts, and you have to go out here and you have to provide services in exchange for them. I mean, I know this for a fact. When I get donations or from Patreon or Cash App, I have to provide services for my viewers, and your schools have to do the same thing. But your HBCUs, we have a lot of people in them who, like you said, are all about nepotism, favoritism, and cronyism, because they take their dollars that they receive for granted. They think that they're going to be guaranteed it because they are a quote unquote Black school. But we need to start establishing standards for ourselves and say, look, if you're going to be an HBCU, you need to bring your education up to a high level. You need to have facilities on point. I mean, our ancestors, when we had these universities, they wanted to have a high standard. And again, if you want to compete, you need to have your stuff up to standard, or even beyond standard. I mean, anybody who is about excellence wants to make sure that whatever they're producing is of a high standard. And what we've got in the Black community, sadly, at our HBCUs are a bunch of old heads and a bunch of people who are relatives and cronies who have turned our universities into a clown show. And they've made it all about them getting theirs and not caring about what the students receive. And that's not what any sort of academic of character would want to do. No, they understand any academic of character. And I've worked in nonprofit before, and I've worked in a university before, where I saw the same type of taking people for granted. And you really want to, if you want to compete, like I did at the college I attended, you're going to be all about making sure that your students have the best services, they have the best computers, they have living quarters that are on the level of a top hotel, and your students are accommodated, and every dollar that you receive is going into services and not being wasted, because that's what I'm seeing with these universities. And if a school will waste your money, your grant money, your loan money, and the endowments, then it's time to take your money elsewhere.
Right. And that's this video from the protest, just so that everybody can see right quick. I won't go too much further, but you don't think that they don't need Bill Cosby's money right now?
No, Mr. Cosby needs to withdraw his money, because if this school is not providing services up to standard, Mr. Cosby's money is being wasted, and money needs to be spent on the students, and we need standards established for our students, because if we don't demand excellence in our schools, then how can we ask our students to perform to excellent levels?
Right. No, I don't think Mr. Cosby has given any money to Howard University recently. I'm just saying, I'm sure they would be begging for it right now because they need it. But after the way they treated him, and he had given them money in the past prior. And let me correct something, stranger. It wasn't, and Viv did not defend Cosby. She attacked, I think he meant to say she attacked Felicia Rashad, because that's what she did. She attacked Felicia for defending Bill, and then made up a lie saying she had heard that stuff years ago. Well, if you heard the damn thing, why didn't you say anything beforehand? After you just got a movie role, you threw Bill Cosby under the bus to do that. And let me say something very interesting about Mr. Cosby and Southern University, and I've shared this before. I had a very reliable source that told me Mr. Cosby wanted to give monies to Southern University, my school, and he demanded, however, that the money be earmarked. Where was it going? And wanted to know how it was going to be spent. And they refused to do that. And so as a result, he refused to give them any money. That's why if you ever noticed in the Cosby Show, Bill Cosby always wore a Dillard University sweater or a Xavier University sweater, Grambling, Howard University, Clark of Atlanta. Even if he didn't give those monies to those schools, when he put that sweatshirt on, when he put on sweatpants, Shawn, that had Clark Atlanta or Morris Brown University, that meant something. That actually was advertisement, and that made kids want to go to HBCUs. His show, A Different World, increased that. But you have a lot of cowards that run these administrations, and especially if you look at Howard's administration, I've taken a look at it. There are a lot of foreigners that are part of that as well. Not to say that our foreigners can't do, let me just say that. You have a lot of foreigners that are there as well. Now, I got to move on, but I think this is karma for the way Howard treated Miss Felicia Rashad and Bill Cosby.
Wi-Fi to be able to participate in virtual learning environments.
They deserve everything they get for this. I feel sorry for the students, but they deserve this negative attention right now. This is what happens when you're not on code. Because, you know, if they were on code, don't you think Bill Cosby would have dropped some money to them after seeing that?
Definitely would have.
He would have dropped millions. Oh, you need to fix this up. So we're going to continue to monitor this, guys. But hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We are hot and heavy here tonight on Random Topic Tuesdays. Feels like a Thursday. I didn't mention this earlier, but Shawn, I do want to get your take on this. I sure played this on Sunday night. Laquan McDonald's uncle forgives Rahm Emanuel. Now, those that saw the show Sunday night know that Rahm Emanuel is the former mayor of Chicago back in 2000, from 2009 to 2016 or 17. He was mayor of Chicago. And during his tenure, a young man by the name of Laquan McDonald was shot and killed by a police officer. Or a race soldier, excuse me. So what happened recently, Shawn, I don't know if you saw this or heard about this, but he actually, Laquan McDonald's uncle, great uncle, I should say, issued a letter and a statement saying that he was supporting Rahm Emanuel's confirmation to be the next ambassador of the United States to Japan. So, by the way, and so Joe Biden, and who knows Rahm Emanuel because Rahm worked with the Obama administration back from 2009 to 2012. He worked with the Obama administration and brings him back despite his history in Chicago with the Black community. How's that for all of you Chucks and Pearls who went out there to support Joe Biden? How do you feel about this? How do they feel about this one? But let's get into it. He writes a letter in defense of Rahm Emanuel. And I want to play this for you, Shawn. I want to play the whole video because this is coming from WGN, which is out of Chicago. I hope Harvey is watching. But you got to hit a level of what's the right word to say? The level of fuckery. Just please, just listen. Please.
Rahm Emanuel is now awaiting a confirmation vote to become the next U.S. ambassador.
Oh, fair use. Hold on, let me stop.
Received an endorsement.
Guys, put the fair use description in the comment box for me, please. Fair use for commentary.
Today from an unlikely source, Pastor Marvin Hunter, who is Laquan McDonald's great uncle.
Kelly Davis joins us now with more on this story, and I know Reverend Hunter probably has faced some backlash for this.
Absolutely. Some local organizations are very unhappy that Laquan McDonald's family has gone as far as endorsing Emmanuel for this position. But Reverend Hunter says his family has forgiven the former mayor, and they have never wanted revenge, only justice.
When I look at the facts before this letter was written, I realized that Ron Emanuel did not pull the trigger.
A surprise endorsement for former Mayor Rahm Emanuel. In his quest to win Senate approval for ambassadorship, he secured letters of support from prominent Chicagoans, including Pastor Marvin Hunter, Laquan McDonald's great uncle.
He speaks to my person and my character, not just my professional abilities.
Reverend Hunter says the two spoke at great length, even prayed together. Emmanuel apologized for the way he mishandled the murder of Laquan McDonald and asked for the family's forgiveness.
As a man of God, I felt like I had a moral responsibility to forgive him. Now, others don't feel that way.
The Reverend has received some backlash for that endorsement, but he says those people are just looking for revenge.
We don't want revenge. What we want is justice. And people, it does not serve justice. It does not serve justice for us to continue to bird dog a man who has asked for forgiveness.
Earlier this week, a group gathered outside CPD headquarters to protest.
Reject Rahm! Reject Rahm!
Speakers from organizations like Black Lives Matter spoke out against Emmanuel's nomination.
We are not going to forget the wrong that Rahm has done, even though you may find it in your heart to forgive him.
Reverend Hunter fired back, saying people need to focus on fighting a corrupt system rather than pointing fingers at our former mayor.
Rahm Emanuel was a victim of the system that he was elected to and worked for. That system is our problem. And I would redirect my people and ask them to help me fight the system that is perpetuating the death of Black young boys and girls across this country.
A vote is expected in the coming weeks on whether the former mayor will be confirmed as the next ambassador to Japan.
Thank you, Kelly.
Pass the pork chop. Now, it's funny, Shawn, because he was actually featured in an ABC News documentary on the George Floyd situation and talked about how Black men are treated by this system by police officers unjustly. And when I see this and contrast it with, I know we're pushed for time. I don't want to play the whole thing, but if you guys get a chance, you can actually go just Google or look on YouTube, Laquan McDonald's uncle. And I played the clip on my last live stream. Actually, you can go there and look at it. The fact that it's one thing when you get out and publicly and you forgive a man who helped cover up the murder of your nephew, your great nephew. It's a whole nother thing now. He actually is endorsing him to be the next ambassador to Japan, which means when he was mayor of Chicago, his salary, which was lower, is going to jump up even further as an ambassador. You're endorsing him for a job. And from my understanding, when he was mayor of Chicago, he wasn't that great either. Your thoughts, Shawn?
Well, this is your typical butter biscuit pastor who definitely has some biscuit crumbs on his lips, because this is the type of butter biscuit shuffling that only a black bootlick will do, and it shows us how low these black bootlicks will go in order to gain favor with their white slave masters. I mean, that's what's really sad here. You have a great uncle who is showing that he has no great character because he just threw his late great nephew under the bus, who was unjustly killed under your Rahm Emanuel's administration, in order to gain some favor with Rahm Emanuel, the man who practically supervised his unjust murder. And again, it just shows us how low some of these black bootlicks will go. They'll even betray family over this white man, because in their mind, this white man is God, and they will forsake family for that point. And it's really disturbing. I mean, they would not go out here and forsake the family for the Most High, but they'll do it for this white man. This is just disturbing to how this man deified and worshiped this white man. And this white man is basically a devil who oversaw this unjust murder and did nothing for any of the residents of Chicago, and practically left that entire city a complete mess. That's what's really disturbing about this whole situation here. And it just shows us how deeply ingrained white supremacy is in the mind of some black people, that they don't see these white politicians as people who need to be held accountable. No, they see them as gods, and they worship them like gods, because this type of forgiveness is, again, very troubling, because here's a man who you should have been holding accountable and should have nothing to do with, but because your pastor pork chop wants to get crumbs from the slave master's table, he will sacrifice intangibles like his dignity, his self-respect, and his character, and show us that this is a man who has been completely compromised, and it's somebody the black community definitely can't trust.
And this is a great uncle. Usually they go to the mama when their baby has been shot, to the father. They don't go and find the great uncle.
Well, with white supremacy, they find the bootlick they can find, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody to push their narrative, and they know they couldn't push the narrative with the mother. So what they did was find the first bootlick they could find, and this pastor was a bootlick they could find who would push their narrative and say what they want said. So they definitely wanted to hire him because he had the mouth and was saying what they want to say. He just shows me this is what happens when I put on the back of my novel, The Temptation of Shawn James, death kills the flesh, but this guy's made a compromise that has killed his soul.
Yeah, let me ask you, because I'm going to put this back up. When you're talking about the appointment of Rahm Emanuel, let's just talk about what he did. When he was the mayor of Chicago, Shawn, he had to have known, because his government kept the release of that dash cam footage that showed Jason Van Dyke murder Laquan McDonald when he lied and said Laquan was coming towards him, and the video showed otherwise. He went to Laquan, who was armed with a knife, and he shot him 16 times versus the lie that he only shot him once. So, all right, well, he certainly said he shot him less than 16 times. Whatever it was, he lied. And not just Rahm Emanuel, but you had Anita Alvarez, you had Garth McCarthy, who was the police chief, the top cop, who also got in trouble when this thing came out. He got fired. But they all knew about it, and he covered this up, apparently in an attempt to win re-election, which he did. So, saying all of that and knowing what he did in the black community, why do you think Joe Biden picked him to be ambassador to Japan? Did he even, considering all of this? And remember, Joe Biden said after the election, he said, "I will not forget you, black community, because you helped me win this."
Well, basically, it shows how little respect he has for the black community, and it just shows how little ethics they have on the left. Now, when I look at this whole picking this Rahm Emanuel, it just shows, again, a complete disregard for the black community, because you're going out here picking a man who has no ethics, but the party he's a part of has no ethics, and that's been shown to us in the way they have behaved over the last few months. And it just shows black people that they need to really think critically before they go out here and vote, because clearly your vote is taken for granted and nobody respects your vote. So why are you going out here continuing to support people who do not support you? That's the critical question black people need to ask themselves, because you're going out here voting for people who are not giving you tangibles and not even regarding your vote, and basically insult you whenever they even get in front of your leaders or your representatives. And clearly, you're just getting contempt expressed at you right now. And instead of you looking at it and seeing the contempt, because many of these black people are spellbound. All they're thinking about is white acceptance socially, but not understanding that you don't vote for people on political terms. No, you vote because it's a business transaction. And if these people aren't showing you the respect to even consider giving you tangibles, then you should not be considering giving these people your vote.
Most definitely. And but you know there are going to be people that will still vote for him.
Yeah, we have these codependent old heads and civil rights dinosaurs who still think that you're getting something, but you're getting nothing at all. And you have to start taking your respect because you're tangible. If you're not getting tangibles or even being heard by these people, then they need to see you walk away from them, because if they're not bringing you anything tangible to the table or delivering anything tangible to you, then you have no need to continue to do business with them.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So, Shawn, let's go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We are hot and heavy. We got 34 people. I'm sure we have even more that are in the building. Shout out to everybody for the love and support. I saw Brother Bernard earlier. I see Knight Rider. He says they keep their black congregants spiritually stupid and broke. That indeed they do, apparently. Jim Crow Joe said he had y'all back, black folks. He meant he had the dagger in your back. It certainly seems that way. He has not done anything specifically for the black community. Let's see. I have it on Facebook. For whatever reason, if people comment on Facebook, I can't see it through StreamYard. So I'm checking that out, guys, and looking at that. So let's go into our next topic, Shawn. I want to talk about this, and that is Obama talked about how it was hard to remedy things. Now, I believe the former president, Barack Obama, was out at some rally, and someone had an opportunity to post this 47-second clip. And Tariq Nasheed, shout out to King Flex, he posted this on his Twitter. And I don't know exactly what, but it was some type of rally that President Obama was doing, I believe, for the Virginia race. So let's see what he had to say.
And it's hard. And Terry doesn't claim that by being governor suddenly every problem is going to be solved. I didn't solve every problem when I was president. I mean, the fact is that it's hard to undo the legacy of discrimination that goes back centuries. It's hard to deal with special interests who want to keep the status quo when you're trying to make the economy more fair and more just. It's hard in a big country like this where people disagree a lot to get everybody moving in the same direction. But here's the thing, we can make it better. And it's hard. And Terry doesn't claim that by being governor suddenly every problem is going to be solved. I didn't solve every problem when I was president. I mean, the fact is that it's hard to undo the legacy of discrimination that goes back centuries. It's hard to deal with special interests who want to keep the status quo when you're trying to make the economy more fair and more just. It's hard in a big country like this where people disagree a lot to get everybody moving in the same direction. But here's the thing, we can make it better. And it's
speaking at a rally out in Virginia where he was campaigning for the Democratic candidate McAuliffe. This is according to Terry McAuliffe, who's running for governor against the former Republican candidate Glenn Youngkin. And there are about 10 days until the gubernatorial election there. Obama said, "I know a lot of people are tired of politics right now. We don't have time to be tired. What is required is sustained effort." He added, casting the race is not only critical for Virginia's future, but as an early battle in
in an existential fight for the future of American democracy. Shawn, you and I have spoken and talked about this, about President Obama's legacy. And for me personally, he has none. Uh, you know, he says it was hard to reverse the past discrimination that was done here in the United States, but he had no problem, as you saw in this tweet that Tariq Nasheed posted, he had no problem speaking on behalf of LGBTQ. It wasn't hard to give federal protections and tangible resources specifically to Asians, white LGBT groups, Hispanic groups, Afghan refugees. These things only become hard when it comes to especially helping foundational Black Americans. That's why it's hard for me to vote, as Tariq stated. Honestly, it's hard for me to vote too, because as I've been looking in my area of New Orleans East and New Orleans, the candidates are not, I won't say maybe not all of them, but the candidates are not great that I look at. We see a lot of the incumbents still running. And most of all, I live in an area which is supposed to be an upscale area, and everything outside is crumbling. So Shawn, what do you have to say about the former president's comments about things being too hard?
I have to say that he's full of shit, and he's sounding like a whiny bitch in that whole little clip that you played. I mean, that was not a man talking right there. That was a punk bitch right there, talking about how hard it is and making all of these excuses. He just makes me very angry when he sits there and says it's so hard to do things when it was easy for him to do things for illegal immigrants with DACA. It was easy for him to do things for the alphabet community. It was easy for him to do things for white women, but it's only hard when it comes down to foundational Black Americans. And he doesn't really, as I see it, want to do anything for foundational Black Americans because he has some serious daddy issues and still takes that out on Black people in a passive aggressive way. And he takes Black people for granted and thinks, oh, Black people should come out and vote for this candidate. But this party has done nothing for Black voters ever since he got elected, and even before then, because they see Black votes as nothing important. And if they don't see Black votes as anything important, then we should not be going down to a poll to vote for a candidate who's going to do nothing for us, because voting is a business transaction. And his statement about it being so hard, no, it's not hard at all. I mean, you had no problem going out here for all of these other people, but it's only hard for Black people because you have serious daddy issues and you don't want to do anything for Black people because you see yourself as an honorary white man and you want white acceptance. So you want to try to gain favor with your white slave masters. So you want to treat us in the same way that they treat us. So I wonder how hard it will be if Black people turn away from Barack Obama and his party. How hard will it be for them to do stuff for us if we don't do anything for them and we decide to stay home for a couple of election days and just let you go to the people who you gave tangibles to? Go over to those alphabet people, go over to those white women who voted for Trump in larger numbers in 2020, go over to those illegal immigrants.
2016 too.
And yeah, go over to those illegal immigrants who are not citizens. You go over there and get your votes because you gave them tangibles. Go over there and get them because you're not going to get them from me and you're not going to get them from a whole bunch of other people, Black people you disrespected. And Black people need to start getting the attitude like this. If they cannot give us tangibles, then we don't give them votes. And this is not about skin color. This is about you delivering goods to the table. Because if you can't do your job and bring me tangibles, then I have no incentive to go out here and vote for you. This is a business transaction. And if I cannot get my business taken care of by you, then I will go out here and pick a candidate who will go out here and get my business done.
Absolutely, man. Shawn, you are on fire right there.
Hi.
You are on fire, exactly. And the president, yes, he did have to. I'm not going to say he didn't have racism he felt and dealt with in the White House. We saw the people, hanging the nooses. The noose with Barack Obama on it, neck, the Barack Obama dummy on it, especially during his Halloween decorations. People calling the first lady an ape, Michelle Obama. I saw all of that. But when you're given an opportunity, you got to kick ass. You got to kick ass to do stuff. He did not do that. When Maynard Jackson became mayor of Atlanta, he went in there with the mindset that he was not only going to revitalize Atlanta, but it was going to be chocolate. He made sure when they revitalized that airport that 80% of the contracts went to minority businesses, minority contractors, black contractors. He said, you're going to take your 20% and you're going to like it, white boy. And he went in there with that. And this was in the 70s, Shawn.
Yep.
This was right after Jim Crow. Same thing with Dutch Morial here in New Orleans. When the police union of New Orleans, the police department, were on a protest and went on strike, you know what Dutch Morial did? He canceled Mardi Gras, which the whites did not like. Which I wasn't even born, but I know they didn't like that.
Nope.
They did not like that. But he said, I don't care what you like. We're not going to have Mardi Gras then. It's over. He made sure we avoided stuff like that. Those men, and I'm saying all of that, even when they dealt with adversity, still showed up because that's what a man does. Doesn't matter how hard it is, you do your best still. And we did not get that. And it's not a surprise because, you look at the president's history, former President Obama's history, really, I knew it was going, I had a feeling from the beginning it was going downhill. But you see, when I was on Southern's campus, I couldn't talk like this. Them Negroes would protest me. They would be mad with me. If you spoke ugly against Obama, you would think I would have told them Jesus Christ wasn't real.
They deified him.
They deified him, and that's a problem. We deify these politicians instead of holding them accountable and realizing that this is business. And, the president, he didn't do a great job. He did everything for every other group except us. He had an opportunity in his first 2 years to push legislation for when he had a majority of his first 2 years, not his first 2 terms, DeAndre, his first 2 years, he had an opportunity. He tried with Obamacare, but Obamacare was actually created by Republicans. A lot of people don't realize that. That was something that was created during Ronald Reagan's tenure.
Yep.
He did everything he pleased with only his base support, which everything he did was for LGBTQ.
Abandoned black voters, practically ignored them.
He redefined the definition of marriage, punishing people who are against it. When it came to even funding our HBCUs, he was actually critical of black colleges and universities. He actually said this when he came to Baton Rouge. I saw this with my own eyes. They talked about him supporting schools. And when you went there, those people who got those tickets waited in line in the freezing cold to see Barack Obama and said that. Even Roland Martin called him out for it. But I'm not supporting it. And that's why people are not interested in voting Democrat, Mr. Obama. We're done with you. The wool over our eyes, at least some of us is removed.
Yep. The jig is up, the con is up, and you can't take the black vote for granted like you used to. I think a lot of these politicians are going to be in for a rude awakening in 2021 and 2022, and they're going to be feeling some pain when they realize that they can no longer take the black vote for granted.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You're right about that. You cannot take the black vote for granted. Now, something I wanted to talk about. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. They deleted this, but I'm gonna go ahead and post it because I see it here. Because they actually have another article. But did y'all see, Shawn, this? And I believe you did because I think you tweeted about it. This is our next topic. Get your booty to the polls too. Now, I don't know if this is the same group that did this. I believe one was based out of Atlanta, and this one that they have is based out of Minneapolis, if I'm correct. But Tariq Nasheed even did talk about this on Sunday. But this is an ad I saw for October 30th for Saturday. Polls to the polls. Shake that ass to the voting booth. Featuring live entertainment from professional strippers, music, and a party bus to shuttle folks to the early voting center. Now, look very closely in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. What does that look like?
Some sort of symbol.
You can't zoom. You want me to zoom in? Let's see.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can zoom in on it. But if you look closely, I'll tell you what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pink. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. Zoom. How's that?
Yeah, I can see something.
Okay. It won't, for whatever reason. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but it's not allowing me to zoom in. But this is an umbrella with a sword. And at the top, there are rainbow colors.
Yeah, rainbow flag. The old alphabet community at it again.
A white, pink, blue, black boomerang, which is big triangles that are upside down.
Yes, the alphabet community strikes again.
Now, Black Visions, we've done some research into them. Now, you could just tell here, just by how they're what they're retweeting, they are LGBTQ. Now, I actually had a screenshot that I saved before they took the ad down with the strippers with the picture on them. So this is in Minneapolis, and Keith Ellison, who's the Attorney General of Minnesota, the one that prosecuted Derek Chauvin for murdering George Floyd, although he wasn't in the courtroom, but his office was part of it. He's looks like a part of this rally, and Representative Ilhan Omar is a part of this rally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go back and see because I actually saved the screenshot of this when I saw it. Hold on one second. Guys, give me a second. Now, this is what they say. We are a Black, queer, and trans-centering body and sex-positive organization that is committed to holding safe space for and protecting folks inside these marginalized identities. So this is Black Vision's thread. Now, I didn't get to continue on to it, but you all see what they placed here. See, they deleted that original tweet that I had because I pointed it out. Notice the umbrella in the bottom left-hand corner and its colors. And if you go here, it says the page no longer exists. Now I wonder why they deleted it, but I believe it had a lot to do with the fact that people were complaining about it. But is this the best thing we have to offer our people when it comes to voting, that they have to? And look, I'm not knocking people in the adult entertainment industry or those who are strippers or anything like that. I'm not going to lie to you. Brother Gavin has visited a strip club every now and then, not recently, of course. But I'm just wondering, is this the best you guys can do? That you got to shake your ass to the polls? We don't see other groups doing this. It's always us that's got some entertainment stuff going on. And Shawn, I know you're going to have a lot to say about it. I don't know if you have not already done a video, but
I haven't done a video yet because I've been so busy with other projects. But I look at this, and again, it just shows contempt for the black voter. I mean, it shows that this party has no respect for the black voter, and it sees the black voter as a base individual who is only thinking about sex, and sees the black male voter as a big black penis. I mean, it does not, this type of stuff is utterly disrespectful and insults the intelligence of the black voter, because it says that you're not focused on issues. All you're focused on is sex. And that's not what I know many black voters to be focused on. Many black voters want to focus on agenda. Many black voters want to focus on tangibles. And if a candidate is coming to me with strippers, then that's not a candidate I'm going to consider, because that candidate is not talking about bringing me any sort of tangibles, and is not talking about an agenda and focusing on developing an agenda with me. So this is not a candidate I would consider, and I would feel insulted by this type of candidate, because this candidate is coming to me from a very paternalistic perspective and coming to me from a very racist perspective. They see themselves as superior to me as a voter, and they think that they can go and give me little cheese trinkets and think that that's going to be enough, whereas they can just put some stripper in front of me and that's going to persuade me to vote for a certain candidate. That's an insult to my intelligence, because as somebody who wants, again, tangibles brought to the table as related to issues like crime, unemployment, and underemployment, and other issues in the community, like trying to deal with America's man crisis, if I can have an articulate discussion with you, then I want to have I want to hear an articulate candidate talking to me, not a candidate who's trying to manipulate me through lust and, again, insults my intelligence, because this is just, again, disrespectful to me as a voter, to see you come at me with strippers, not for the first time, but for the second. And black voters have to demand better of their candidates, because if a candidate comes to you like this is not a candidate you consider. This is a candidate you vote against, because this candidate takes you for granted. This candidate takes your vote for granted. And this candidate is showing you that they're not going to do anything for you if they are elected, because they think you're stupid.
They treat you like you're an idiot. And we keep voting for them than we are.
I'd have to say you're beyond stupid. You would have to be retarded to sit here and continue to vote for the person who disrespects you like that. I mean, you would have to be, again, something is special with you to do something like that. I mean, something is mentally wrong with somebody who goes out here and votes for a candidate who disrespects them. I mean, if somebody is disrespecting you, you need to set a boundary for yourself and say, look, I'm cutting this person out of my life because this person is toxic, and this person has proven that they are not somebody I want in my life, because this person, if they can't show me the basic respect, then they have no right to even be in my presence.
Right. Most definitely. I certainly would not want. I would not vote for somebody that would disrespect me like this.
No, you have to have a
And
backbone that
and
stands.
even though they don't say the party, you know it's the Democrats. Just
Well,
because they
I
know that they know by hear me out. They know by demographics, African American, particular African American female voters are their biggest base, their biggest support group. They vote more than the men, so they go into these neighborhoods, and I know that they're now trying to target men, so they use strippers, especially these men who are not registered to vote, black men who are not registered to vote. They go into these neighborhoods and these communities, passing flyers like this out, and they know men are the ones; those men are the ones that are going to vote for them, that are going to go for them. And I'm telling you right now, see, brothers like you and me, we know what the game is. But men who, get fresh out of jail, who are been in prison, men who can't find jobs, who can't work, that's who they target. But this is a supreme insult to me as a black man that you got to use strippers to try and get my attention to go vote. I'm sorry. I'm not falling for this. If anything, this would make me not vote.
It would make me stay home because it's just insulting. And they go for the lowest common denominator because they know women vote on feelings and being told what they want to hear, because they just want to be told what they want to hear. And they know that the guy is fresh out of prison. They're not really thinking critical, and they go on feelings as well. So they're looking for the stupidest person in the room. And we need to start educating those young brothers and those young sisters so that they can go out here and make good decisions. Because when you vote for candidates that express contempt for you, they have no incentive to give you tangibles, and they'll disrespect you the same way we were just disrespected in December of 2020 by our president-elect, who just threw up a middle finger at black voters and just left them out here after and just acted like their votes meant nothing, even though they gave him the presidency.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, Shawn, we are almost down to our final topic. We have people that are saying something. Let's see. Darius says facts. Where's the tangibles at? Bag in hand, no ass. And scary as hell. Political voting literacy. Yeah, a lot of us are lacking that. Yeah, I threw them bands on it, Darius. When I was a college student, oh yeah, up there kittens and whisper dances on airline. I ain't gonna say too much further, but it was fun being a kid, being young. So, all right, guys. So finally, this is our last topic. Shawn, I want to get in. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, please, ladies and gentlemen. You see the Cash App at the bottom. Please hit the Cash App. Gavin Richard Esquire or Zelle at 504-289-4002. You can donate there. Hit the PayPal. Anything you could do to support the channel, I greatly appreciate it. All right, so here's our last topic for tonight, Shawn. Chappelle responds to the you know who. So we've seen people who do this for Netflix employees who stage a walkout over Dave Chappelle's comedy special. Yes, a comedy special that were that offended by what he had to say. And Chappelle responded to their comments. And Chappelle was giving he was doing a comedy special, his comedy show. And he said he's willing to talk to the trans community, but says he is not bending to anybody's demands. In the video, Chappelle remained unapologetic about the special, which was accused of containing transphobic and homophobic remarks and led to a walkout at Netflix, saying, "I said what I said. It's been said in the press that I was invited to speak to the transgender employees of Netflix, and I refused. That is not true. If they had invited me, I would have accepted it. Although I'm confused about what we would be speaking about, Chappelle said in the video. I said what I said, and boy, I heard what you said. My God, how could I not? You said you want a safe environment at Netflix. It seems like I'm the only one that can't go to the office anymore. Chappelle claimed the controversy was about corporate interest and that some members of the LGBTQ community have supportive of him. I want the audience, everyone in the audience, to know that even though the media frames it as me versus that community, that is not what it is. Do not blame the LGBTQ community for any of this shit. This has nothing to do with them. It's about corporate interest and what I can say and what I cannot say. For the record, and I need you to know this, everyone I know from that community has been loving and supporting. So I don't know what all this nonsense is about. The film that I made, referring to about his upcoming documentary that this over his summer 2020 comedy tour, claims that has now been excluded from film festivals. The film that I made, was invited to every film festival in the United States, and some of the invitations I accepted. When this controversy came out about the closer, they began disinviting me from these film festivals, Chappelle claimed. And now today, not a film company, not a movie studio, and not a film festival, nobody will touch this film. Thank God for Ted Sarandos and Netflix. He's the only one that didn't cancel me yet. Chappelle jokingly said he had a slew of conditions that he would have to meet with the transgender community. I'd be more than willing to meet with you, but I have some conditions. First of all, you cannot come if you have not watched my special from beginning to end. You must come at a place of my choosing at a time of my choosing. And thirdly, you must admit that Hannah Gadsby is not funny. So this is I was sharing that from Twitter, but this was the article from Variety that listed all of this too, so everyone could check that out. Shawn, your take on what's going on with Dave Chappelle versus Netflix, or Dave Chappelle versus he says it's not the LGBTQ community, but corporate interests. What do you think?
Well, I have to respect Dave Chappelle for standing up like a man, and I have to respect him for continuing to maintain his stance. Now, I know what it is like to be canceled because I had to deal with this in 2019 with black men who were disagreeing with me regarding passports and the narrative regarding passports. So I know what these cancel culture types can be like and how they are just so in their feelings that all they want to do is see somebody destroyed. And that's what's really at what they want to do here is destroy Dave Chappelle and destroy his ability to make a living because they disagree with his position. And there are those in the mainstream media who do not like seeing a black man out here who has the strength of character to stand up on his own like a man and continue to express his opinions and have the courage to go out here and express his opinions. So what we have here is the social justice, social media mob, like I talk about in my book, East Team Cancel Vacation, looking to cancel Dave Chappelle, but they're finding that they cannot cancel him. So they want to try to meet with him in an effort to try to compromise him or get him to concede some positions so that they can get their emotions sated. And some of these white supremacists in mainstream media can get a black man to cow to their position. That's what this is all about. This is all about trying to break a black man down. And they want to see this black man just go out here and submit to them and look like he's weak. But your Dave Chappelle is standing strong. And this is the thing that upsets all of these people who are media executives because the only black men they respect are the ones who wear dresses, the ones who bootlick and buck dance, and the ones that can easily be bought off for a $5 food stamp without the book or a Pizza Hut coupon. Those are the only type of black males they like having around, these spineless wimps with no backbone. And the fact that Dave Chappelle continues to stand, this is the thing that upsets them, seeing a heterosexual black man stand up. Moreover, seeing a black man stand up and acknowledge that he's going to do this kind of meeting on his own terms, and he's not going to meet on their terms. What they want, again, is a spineless jellyfish who they can go out here and put in a dress and break him and bow him. And Dave Chappelle is showing that he's going to continue standing strong. And from what I heard as related to the jokes in his comedy special, he said nothing offensive and he said nothing that was disrespectful at all. He was just making observations regarding what he saw in the world, which is what comedians do. And what these people want to do is they don't want to see or hear opinions that differ from theirs. They want to be told what they want to hear. And that's not what comedy is. Comedy is something that is making a commentary on the world. And while you may not like what you hear, it's funny because they are making observations about stuff you would not usually expect. Now, I myself have written comedies like All About Nikki, which was about a teenage girl who went out here and was saying some of the rudest and even some racist stuff. And it would be considered offensive to some people, but the whole point was I was making a commentary on how a child without proper guidance goes out here and says these kind of things because there's nobody there to teach her how to speak better or carry and conduct herself. And that was one of the things I did with that comedy. And I also did other comedies like Spinsterella, where I make fun of the whole concept of introverts and the issues we have in social situations. And comedy is a way of, again, making commentary on the world. And we're not laughing at people, we're laughing at situations, and we're making commentary on situations we're seeing. And a lot of these people who don't want criticism, you have to think that there's something suspect with them, because if you cannot go out here and make a commentary with a comedy, then these people cannot, and these people can't be criticized, then there's something clearly wrong with them. Because I've seen these SJW woke types go out here and they would get upset in the comic book community when people would criticize them about bad comics. I see them get angry when people tell them that their movies are bad. These people are extremely fragile. They have low self-esteem and they want to enter the arts, but they don't understand that the arts, whether it be comedy, writing, comic books, literature, you're going to have to build up a thick skin and deal with criticism. And if you can't take criticism, you're not going to be able to survive in these businesses for much longer. So Dave Chappelle is handling things the way they need to be handled. And we need more people to start coming out and standing up against these fragile woke types who get upset over the least little bit of a jab, because in this world, you're going to have to deal with a lot of jabs out here if you hope to survive in this world.
Right. I mean, the thing about comedy is that if you want equal rights, then that means you can be equally criticized.
Yeah.
You can be made fun of.
In the comedy business, you have to know that if you throw shots at people, shots will be fired back. And if you're in this comedy game, you're going to have to build up a thick skin, because everything is open for any sort of shot. So if you come in the comedy world, you have to have a thick skin. And if you come in the entertainment business, I'll tell you that much. As somebody who's been in publishing for 10 years and been in the writing game for over 25, you're going to need a thick skin to be in this business, and you're going to have to deal with a lot of no. You have to deal with some people being nasty to you. You have to deal with people blowing you off. I mean, it's not an easy business to be in. And if you come into this business thinking it's going to be, oh, I make stuff, people will like it, I'm sorry, people are going to hate it. And when you're a first timer, you're going to deal with a lot of hate, because I dealt with a lot of hate when I was publishing early ISIS series books and books with my own hand-drawn covers. So I know what Dave Chappelle is going through, and he's doing what I did, which is staying the course, and doing what I did in 2019 when I made the passport videos. I had to stay the course, because these types that try to cancel you, these are people who don't want to hear differing opinions. They don't want to hear different viewpoints. But if you hang in there, people will start to see your viewpoint, like people saw my viewpoint on those passport videos. And then we had more people starting to make videos that were critical of the passport narrative. Later on, we started to see more and more people saying that since he stood up and kept standing up, I'm going to start telling my story. And that's what Dave Chappelle needs to do, because that's how we break this whole woke cancel culture mob. If we all start standing up and continue to stand up against these kind of bullies and let them know they are not going to dictate how we participate in discourse in the entertainment industry.
Right. Right. Exactly. And I mean, they control the entertainment industry already. You can't say anything negative against the LGBTQ, or you'll be punished. You'll be ostracized. They can take your job. And, like we say again, it's about equality means you can be not just entitled to equal rights, but you're also entitled to equal criticism as well, just like everybody else. I mean, where were these people that were so upset and sensitive over a joke when Don Rickles was around? Lisa Lampanelli, and the stuff that Don Rickles used to say about Black people, about Asians, Japanese people, Chinese people. He attacked every group. Nobody was safe from him. He even made jokes about Jews, his own, his wife. So, and I mean, I've heard Lisa Lampanelli, and to me, she's not that funny. But I mean, she insults every ethnic group. I heard her say nigger live on a special. So they didn't complain about that then. So all of this is nothing but fake outrage. And I think that, do you think that community has something to do with this, or you think Dave was right as far as it just being a corporate interest?
I think it's a corporate interest and a handful of people of that community working together, because what they do is the corporate interests use that group to try to be their buffer, and they use their victimization and their selective outrage to try to silence Black, especially heterosexual Black men who express their opinions. So they basically weaponize that group, and they use them to shut down any sort of discourse, especially that of a heterosexual Black man. Whenever a heterosexual Black man starts expressing opinions and showing intelligence, what they do is they find themselves some member of the alphabet community buffer group, launch them as a weapon against them, and then use them to try to shut them down by making everybody feel guilty and telling them that they have to cancel this individual. And that's how they shut down any sort of discourse, because they don't like seeing a Black man having what they consider the audacity to express opinions that they disagree with. What they want to see from a Black man is like your, what's his name, Stephen A. Smiths, your Roland Martins. They like their Black men emasculated, weak. They like their bootlicks who will go out here and be yes men. And they don't, like Professor Black Truth said in a video, they don't like Dave Chappelle because he may inspire other Black men to have a backbone and stones and start standing up for themselves and standing against their narratives and their viewpoints, and then also promoting that the alternative, that you don't have to go through their platforms in order to gain an audience, and you don't need to create a covert contract where you can gain white acceptance.
Yeah, most definitely. So this was a great live stream, Shawn. You guys, I know we're used to doing this Thursday nights, but something came up, so I'll be doing that show this Thursday, and Shawn was able to jump up with me. You guys look at that link in the bottom, that link in the comment section to the article from Variety. That's the article about the Chappelle special and what he had to say. And these people really did not listen to, I know they didn't watch Chappelle's special, but yeah, they didn't watch it. They just were triggered. What's your views on divestors?
My view on divestors?
Yeah.
They're losers. I mean, these people, they don't support the Black community, and they want white acceptance. They want to be with the white man. And a lot of them are just all talk. It's like they talk about divesting, but they still are living in the Black community for years. And some of these people, basically are creating narratives on YouTube so that they can make money through AdSense and get donation money, where they talk about divesting, but they're still sitting up on the block. So when I look at divestors, they're just a bunch of self-hating clowns, whether it be your swirlers or even your guys who, some of these guys who were talking this passport nonsense. A lot of these people just talk a good game, but they don't really aren't about taking care of any business. And again, if they want to leave the community, let them go, because we don't have time for sellouts, and I don't have time for clowns who are promoting as I see it, anti-black narratives and promoting anti-black racism.
Yeah. Wants to know about divestors and swirlers. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done
I mean,
videos
look,
on them.
You from London? What's up, Ken's from London? Oh, cheerio, Mike. I won't say no. That's Australian. Pip pip. The Duchess of Ratchetness. You're Meghan Markle. You have some money. No, I won't. No, my whole thing, like, look, people can date who they want. That's their business. You know, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I have people from different races in my family. I'm sure practically everybody in America, and I don't treat them any differently than I would treat Shawn or Darius or any of my friends or immediate family who look like me. But as people who, now, if you're swirling just because you don't like your race, you have self-hate issues, like a Sage Steele, that's a difference. To me, that's different, because those people like that have a low self-esteem and have some self-hate issues that they need to resolve. But, you know, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But that's just my opinion on it. But at any rate, Shawn, I want to thank you for joining me. Why don't you plug in your book again? Plug in Stop Simping in the Cyberspace.
All right. The newest SJS Direct books for fall are Stop Simping in Cyberspace, which is now available in paperback and Kindle right now. And you can pick up a copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace by heading over to Amazon.com right now. So I'm going to leave a link in the chat so that everybody can pick up a copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace. And that book, again, is available on Amazon.com, and you can pick it up in paperback and Kindle format. It's also available at other online booksellers. So this is a book that's a part of the Simp series, the latest book in the Simp series, and that series has helped a lot of men transform their lives. And the newest E-Steam series book, E-Steam Cancel Vacation, is going to be available on Kindle in November, but you can get your paperback copy right now by heading over to Amazon.com, and you can get that book on Amazon.com in paperback right now and pre-order the Kindle version. And this one I'm going to leave a link to this one in the chat right now so everybody can pick up a copy. And I am trying to get the sales up on Cancel Vacation. This is a book that details a commentary on cancel culture, something Dave Chappelle is dealing with right now. And I draw from my own experience of being canceled by black men in 2019 for this story, and what I've heard from about many comic creators who had to deal with cancel culture. And this book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, is one I designed to help black men and men across the globe deal with the whole issue of cyber simps and cyber simping, and to avoid online female predators like your Instagram models and your e-girls who take advantage of naive and gullible men. So both of these books are available in paperback right now, and I'm urging everybody to get a copy. I really want to get the sales up on Stop Simping in Cyberspace for this month. I need 4 more sales to reach 20 sales on Stop Simping in Cyberspace, and I really want to get the sales up on Cancel Vacation. So I want to ask everybody to support these books, and I thank you in advance if you do go out and support my work.
You also could check out Shawn's YouTube page, Shawn James. He does a live stream every Friday night. You all need to check that out. Normally, he's promoted it on my show Thursday. But those are my friends that are out in the Baton Rouge area. If you have an opportunity to do so, I want you to come out to Lexus Place this Thursday at 9 p.m. We're doing the show. I still have some tickets that I can sell if you're coming out. The $15, but you all can check it out at Lex Place. It is going to be fire. We got great talent in the local area that will be out there. I don't know what is it always when I try and load a damn picture. For some reason, it says no messages found. We can't find this. I get so sick. Excuse me, Shawn, but I get so sick of this crap because I had it here. Okay, so once again, this is the flyer for the page, guys. Hold on. So you guys will enjoy the you guys I'm sure will enjoy the platform, enjoy the show this Thursday. So yeah, y'all come out, hosted by comedian Jay Funny and Coco, the entertainer. You guys will enjoy it. I'm sure it's gonna be great. Also, ladies and gentlemen, hello. I didn't know who that was. But also, guys, if you would, please check out my website, NortheastCreoleBlends.com, where we sell the finest Creole seasoning blends. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Northeast goes great with every dish. And you all can check that out here. Making your food more flavorful. That is what Northeast does. So if you want to order some, you can just contact us. You can shop here. So please be sure to check that out. We're going to be in stores real soon. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I've just been so busy, Shawn, working with this book, and my other private life has been hard, but I'm pushing through it and trying to make sure it pays off. I don't know why I keep showing y'all my headline. Sorry, when I'm going down. Also, if you'd like to advertise with the channel, you can go to gavin.grich1@gmail.com. Hit me up for rates. Visit the Patreon, gboot2786. Also, I would like for you to check out Video Soul on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon. You can stream that. You can also buy the song itself. And also, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we got to talk about getting on up. Now, we've gotten on down tonight already. So now it's officially time to get on up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. Support the brother Shawn James. And I'm just looking at some of the comments. I think Knight Rider is talking about black self-hate. If you're talking about swirling, I've talked about that already. Like I said, I don't knock people who date outside their race per se. I have family members who are part of that, but I'll just say this much. My preference is, my personal preference is black women. That's me. But, to each his own. Having said all that, swirlers, people who have hatred issues, that not so much. That I don't respect. So anyway, guys, but I appreciate your comments, Knight Rider, Rashana Morrison, who's just joining in. Darius, shout out to you for your contribution tonight, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been another edition. Shawn, I thank you, brother, for joining me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
And we'll be back with our regular scheduled programming next week, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, I should have the trailer up for the book. I want to have it ready by tomorrow, by Thursday. So I'm pushing for it. It seems like there's always something, a hurdle I got to jump up through, but stuff comes up. But it should be ready Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll be able to see it on the Facebook page once I upload it. So, all right, that is the Bill Cosby Facebook page that we have for everyone's entertainment. What else, Shawn? Did you have any last thing you wanted to say?
No, that's about it. I mean, that's all I have to say for today.
Right. That's all there is to that, as Nat King Cole had said. All right. Well, you guys be safe. Have a blessed night. Good night, everyone. I'll holla. Peace. Bye, Shawn.
Bye.
Thank you. Good
All right.
night.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll meet.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
floor, baby. Yeah, gotta get on. Come on, baby, gotta get on. Baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the